We won all races last night, every one of them, and some of them don't know how to win. I know how to win. I think I've proven that, haven't I?
Okay, that was President Trump as all 30 candidates the president endorsed won their primaries, setting the stage for the midterms this fall. The races last night spanned 6 states, including swing states Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. Congressman Thomas Massie, as you just heard, he lost the Kentucky primary. And Ed Galbraith won. He was endorsed by the president. Trump adversary Brad Raffensperger lost in the Georgia GOP gubernatorial primary. Vivek Ramaswamy handily won the Ohio GOP primary for governor. Joining us now, again, the winner of the Alabama GOP gubernatorial primary. He's Senator Tommy Tuberville. Senator, it's great to see you. Congratulations on winning. It's always a pleasure to have you on, sir. What's your reaction to 30 of Trump's? All of them won last night. This is after Senator Bill Cassidy lost his primary, 5 Indiana state senators lost. Trump is really showing his dominance over the Republican Party, but Democrats are saying they could win the midterm swing voters on affordability and things like the Iran war. What do you say to that?
Well, thank you, Liz, for having me on, but the MAGA movement is alive and well, regardless of what you hear on the mainstream media. President Trump is still the most popular person and leader in our conference. And if you go against him, you see what happens. You're not going to be very successful. But we're making a lot of progress in this country. I think the American people will continue to see that. I know the Iran war has got prices high in terms of the gas and oil, but it will eventually come down. But we need to continue to have this stronghold when it comes to winning these primaries, now getting into the general election coming up. But I will say in our district, in our state, excuse me, you know, we are redistricting as we speak, and we postponed all of our congressional elections until August the 14th. And so hopefully we get one of our seats back. Right now we're 5-2 in our state. Hopefully we can get to 6-1, maybe even 7-0, depending on what the Supreme Court says. Okay,
we have this new Associated Press NORC poll. A majority of Republican voters back Trump on the economy, Iran, the border. GOP voters are continuing to stand behind President Trump. But what's the Republican message to the swing voters, to the independents and the moderates? They may not like the Iran war. They don't like that gas prices are going up. What's the messaging?
Well, the first thing we need to get over to the American people is we cannot have open borders. If we lose the House, the Senate, and the presidency in the near future, and they open up the borders again, our we're finished. We're dead broke already. And we'll continue to spend billions a month on people that shouldn't be here. That's the one thing we have to be very careful of. They're voting in our elections. They're trying to change the atmosphere of our country, trying to change the culture. We can't allow that to happen. So the American people are looking at a little bit higher prices. Sometimes we're going to have to sacrifice for what's right. And what's right is making sure that we contain our borders, that we give us a strong military, we do things right to make us stronger through 250 years. It's very, very important that people start understanding that and don't buy the narrative that what the Democrats do is much, much better than what's going on with President Trump. It is not. There are disaster waiting to happen. We can't do it.
Okay, so there's that. Trump is getting his candidates that he wants to run. You know, let's get your reaction to President Trump on Thomas Massie losing. You're going to also hear CNN Scott Jennings calling out Massie for anti-Semitism in his concession speech. Watch this.
We won the Massie thing. He was a bad guy. He deserves to lose.
All right. Listen, I would have come out sooner, but I had to call my opponent and concede, and it took a while to find Ed Galbraith in Tel Aviv.
I just want to also add one other thing. Thomas Massie tonight in his concession speech said something despicable, anti-Semitic, nasty, gutter politics, right at the end. What a way to go out. He said, I would have called Ed Galbraith, but you know, I had to find him in Tel Aviv. Okay. There was an undercurrent of anti-Semitism in this race on the Massie side. There's been an undercurrent of it in his career, unfortunately.
What do you make of that, Senator?
Well, first of all, what happens up here in D.C., Liz, people start taking it personally. They got to get away from that. They got to start thinking about not themselves, but the country and their state and their community. It gets way too personal up here. President Trump will go after you if you veer off of that and start making it personal. I'm proud for what President Trump has done to our party. He'll continue to make it stronger.
Thank you, Senator Tommy Tuberville. It's good to see you.